Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video it's time for another indie game spotlight. This time we'll be looking at a brand new game called Reliquary. I met the Warboss Miniatures team behind the game at the UK Games Expo back in June, and it was awesome to see the models out on the table, and they had a really good display going on. The table looked fantastic. It looked like the sort of game you just want to dive in and have a go at. One thing I really liked and really caught my attention were these hex tokens. This is all part of the campaign system for the game, and it's really appealing. I love the idea that you can actually get hold of these tokens when you achieve a certain part of the campaign and start to build your map. So those tiles are a really key feature. For this video, I'll be sharing some of the miniatures. You may remember these two boxes I showed you in a previous video. So we'll be getting the miniatures out of the box and having a look at exactly what Reliquary is all about. Have a close-up look at all these models. Here they are, all laid out on the table. And this video isn't sponsored or paid for in any way. They've sent out the models for me to share with you to give you a sneak peek at the game so you can see what's coming. And I'm going to send the models back, so I'm not even keeping them. I just think this is a great game to share in my indie game spotlight series. All these miniatures that I'll be showing you up close in a moment are 3D printed, but during the Kickstarter campaign, which should be towards the end of this year, likely November, December time, they're going to be looking to fund the project so that these can be made in CYCLAIRE plastic. If you haven't heard of that, it's definitely worth having a look at the website if you're interested in the manufacture of models. This is something I was looking at a few months back actually, so it was really interesting to talk to the guys at Warboss Miniatures to see what they'll be using to produce these miniatures for the final game. And CYCLAIRE is really cool. It's a really interesting process. I'll put a link down below if you want to check that out. Let's get back to the miniatures then. So these are all going to be 32mm scale, and you really get a sense that these are big models when they're on the table, and they've got an old school vibe to them which I really like. They remind me almost a bit of like playing with toy soldiers when you're a kid. It's got that feel to it. And the big pieces like that trebuchet are awesome. You've got some different characters going on, and I'll talk about the game as we start going through all the models individually. And here they all are laid out on the table again, so lots to go through. We've got two different armies here, and these are the two that are going to be included in the initial Kickstarter. These are the Commonwealth of Man, which are the humans, and they're going to be going up against the Church of Croesus, which are the Undead. Now there's no rules, or you can't get hold of any of these models or anything yet. It won't be until the Kickstarter. I haven't seen any of the rules yet either, but it will be a D10 dice system. And although the game is very much a tabletop war game, it's going to kind of bring in some elements of role play, and it will tell a story that unfolds as you play through the campaign. And the setting is in the world of Astir, and you're going to follow your own commander as they search for pieces of the Reliquary to help your home faction gain supremacy in the overarching plot. So there's going to be all different armies looking for these pieces, and you're going to pick a class for your commander as well as a starting roster, and then head out into the campaign map in search of these relics. And then you're going to try and gain territories as you go along, and that's where these hex tiles come into play as you build a map, and this is going to be fully customizable to create your own scenarios with. So that sounds really cool. I love these pieces, and I think having a map you can actually build with these hex tiles is really fun, especially if you're playing with a group of friends. You can see this develop over time. As you gain more territories, you're going to get bonuses. Some of them will allow you to bring in mercenaries as well. That's where some of the bigger models, like these ogres that are coming up next, here's one of them. There's two that they've sent out to share with you. So you're going to get in the box that's going to come out eventually, you're going to get miniatures, you're going to get hex tiles, the rules, and then you're also going to be able to purchase a fantasy novel that they'll be releasing at the same time as the Kickstarter. So that's really cool. You can follow along with the story, which is going to follow a Commonwealth prince on his journey to stop the threats to his homeland, both from outside and within. So that's going to give you a nice bit of narrative to bring into the game. There's also going to be a deck of cards, and these cards are going to contain the reliquary pieces, and then players that win a battle or secure a relic from an objective during a battle or something like that, they're going to have the chance to find one of the artifacts to then use during the campaign with a hero. So that'll all be represented with the cards. There you go, that's a brief overview of the game. If you want to find out a bit more information, you can go to reliquarygame.co.uk. I'll put a link in the description down below. Then you can keep up to date with how the game progresses, and then when the Kickstarter's released, you can follow it there. But if you want me to cover the game, especially when they get nearer the Kickstarter and we get more information, add that in the comments too. If you want to find out more about it, it'd be awesome to hear if this is the sort of thing you want to see more of. I really enjoy seeing how games develop, and it was really cool to speak to the team and meet them at the UK Games Expo. But awesome to actually get the models and have a real close-up look, find out more about the process and share it with you. So I hope you like seeing this sort of thing too. It's really interesting to me. I think it's great how people can come up with an idea, a concept, and then actually make it into a game, then produce models for it. It's such a fascinating process, and it's really cool when you see things like this actually take off and be a success. So hopefully this one will be well received. But from what I've seen so far of the models and just talking about the game itself, it sounds really interesting. I love the size they've gone for, the big chunky models. You really get a sense you're picking something up and moving it around. And I really like the idea that you're going to start off almost like a skirmish kind of level game, but build it into a tabletop war game. As you add more units, you can get those mercenaries, you conquer more territories, and then get big pieces of equipment like this awesome trebuchet, or maybe you've got the cannon there, so you can then add more kind of destructive features to the game, which would be awesome. You can see this is filled with all sorts of zombie parts, I think, and skeletons, and who knows what in there that are probably going to have some kind of plague attached to them, maybe. I don't know, I'm just making that bit up, but that would be a kind of good feature to have. But there we are, what a great selection of models. Hope you've enjoyed having a close-up look and seeing all these for the first time too. Full armies, load of the hex tiles, all laid out. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game develops as the year pans out. And yeah, if you want to see more, let me know and I'll cover it as it comes to Kickstarter later on in the year. Their website is the place to go if you do want to keep up to date and see what's happening before then. So check that out in the link down below. It'd be awesome if you go and show your support to them. And there's a small team, really passionate about what they're doing. And I think that's fantastic. There you go. There's only 4 of them in there and they're making all this work. So really cool. And I think they've done a great job so far getting it to this stage. Here's some concept art just to give you an idea of it, a bit of flavour of the designs and how they've gone from these designs and then built them into the models. I think that's come across really well, and you can see more about that in some of their blog posts on the website as well. But that's it from me for now. This is the first introduction to Reliquary. Hopefully lots more to come in the future. Big thanks to my sponsors for helping me keep going with these daily videos and enabling me to bring you these awesome indie game spotlights. Hope you've been enjoying this series. I've really enjoyed meeting game creators and looking for new games to share with you here on the channel. If you're a game creator, you've got something in the works, then get in touch and maybe I can feature you on here too one day. That'd be awesome. But thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you did like the video, it'd be great if you hit the like button. Consider subscribing as well for more videos like this one. And I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.